Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. I want to talk about Love is Blind season 6 reunion. It's been a couple of days, been a couple of weeks. It's been a couple of weeks since the last video, a week since the last video, but we're going to talk about the Love is Blind reunion. I want to give you an update what's going on. Love is Blind. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so we don't miss any of our reviews. Let's talk about it, right? The Love is Blind season 6 reunion, where we saw Nick and Vanessa yet host the show again this year. They gave us a little backstage view of the Love is Blind set. I saw both of them come out through the Love is Blind, door per se, right? The door that they come through. They was excited about doing that. And then we end up seeing a lot of the contestants, right? We saw some past people from Love is Blind that was in the live studio audience. Wasn't live, but tape studio audience that they showed us on that day. But I want to get into it, man. I want to hop into it. I guess the burning question everybody wanted to know was Jeremy and Sarah Ann dating or together? And we find out, we get into it real quick, right? We see that Sarah Ann and Jeremy began dating after filming, right? They rode off into the sunset with each other on jet skis. They had that moment at the cookout, the hangout, whatever you want to call it. And they rode off to the sunset. They started dating, all right? And they've been together for almost a year now, ever since the day at the lake house, right? And they even moved in together, right? Like, these two are really going on. But all he had was a 5 o'clock conversation with her, at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Look, it doesn't seem like it seemed like they're happy off again, on again, because it's been mentioned several times. I think Jeremy mentioned that they broke up, got back together, broke up, got back together. Then now they finally live together, and so you see the relationship is growing pains. They're having some ups, having some downs, and they're doing what they like to do, right? It doesn't appear like they're not in bliss. They're not ready to cross the aisle or get married yet, but they're working through their relationship, right? They, like I said, they broke up a bunch of times. They gotten together and got back together. Now they're moving in together. So it's Jeremy and Sarah Ann. I guess they're meant for each other, right? They're having a good time with each other, and it's something that is good for them, right? We see that Laura was overseas doing some stuff from work, and she came back, and her and Sarah Ann had a conversation, which we didn't see, right? They showed us a lake house conversation with Sarah Ann and Laura that we didn't see on the show, which I wish they would have show that on the show. I wish they would have showed us that conversation, because our thoughts of Sarah Ann might have been a little bit different, even though some believe that she was a homewrecker. At least they made peace, right? Kind of made peace, so they had a cordial relationship, because Laura, at that time, when they met at the lake house, she really didn't blame Sarah Ann. She was blaming Jeremy for the way that he behaved, for the way that he lied, the way that he shared his location, didn't share his location, how he hung out with her till like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So it was more on Jeremy when Laura and Sarah Ann had that conversation at the lake house than anything else. And I guess all the stuff wouldn't have been thrown on Sarah Ann for being a homewrecker. I know a lot of people have different opinions on her sending a message to him while they was on the honeymoon. I guess bro had to clear some things, right? So he had to clear some things. He let him know, look, and he was telling Sarah Ann the whole time, like, let's not be, when they was getting pumped, Laura was getting pumped, like, calm down. We don't have to go there, right? He eventually apologized to Laura, which was good by him. I think his apology is too little too late, but he apologized. He should have behaved himself in a much better manner. But he was like, yo, I did tell, right? I was an honest man. I let you know what was going on. I let you know that, look, we was having this conversation. We was having this discussion. We were having a date. We're not a date, but we was having a conversation outside of the show. And he was honest. So I'm not mad at him for the Love is Blind, for being honest. He's just realized that you have a fiance and you couldn't be outside at 6 o'clock in the morning talking to any woman, especially a woman that you had tried to previously hook up with in a pod. So there. Jeremy said that he claims that he was with someone before. He does answer the question that he was with someone before a filming, and it's simply not true, right? He said, look, we was together. I had a fiance. We broke up. I was living by myself. And before I got on this Love is Blind, before they reached out to me, I was single, right? He said I was single before I was approached to do the show. And I told everybody that I had a fiance. Laura and Sarah Ann both verified that when it was in a pod, right? That he told them that he had a fiance. So he wasn't hiding anything. He didn't, like social media was saying that he was hiding stuff. He said, I didn't hide anything. I let them know beforehand. I had a fiance, all right? and so it is what it is. So it really was no big thing there, right? Nothing happened, and it was just, hey, big story that we had on the internet that he dispelled the rumors there that he was currently living with a fiance while he was in the pods. No, he was single. He didn't have a fiance while he was in the pod. So he talked about that. So that moved on, and from there, people were still getting on Sarah Ann about the night they stayed out together. Laura said she had heard that Jeremy told Sarah Ann he would break up with her, which he strongly denied. People like, hey, how would you know, right? This is always my question. How would Laura know if he said he was going to break up with her, unless Sarah Ann told somebody or Jeremy told somebody? It was only two people in that car having that conversation, car, house, whatever, having that conversation. It was either Sarah Ann who told Laura that he wanted to break up with her, or it was Jeremy who said he was strongly going to break up with her. Jeremy said he denied it. He said, I didn't tell Sarah Ann that he was going to break up with Laura for her. None of that, right? Laura's biggest thing with this too, and which is I don't know why I didn't notice this during the show, was that the same day or the same night that he hung out with Sarah Ann was the same night he met her family, right? And the same night he met her family, how they had a great conversation, had a great discussion, how they was hanging out together, how everything was cool. I didn't realize that was the same night. And Laura said, I felt like a complete fool. We was getting ready to get married. My 96-year-old grandma was coming. Everything was planned, and you broke my heart because you went and hung out with this young lady, which was Sarah Ann. Like, I don't know why I didn't think about that, right? I don't know why I didn't think that it was the same night. But either way, we move on, right? We move on. But it's weird. But they kind of were cordial. They got everything together and situated. The big another rumor that was suggested, that was brought out there, man. They brought Trevor out there. Trevor came out there, and everybody was clapping at first. But then Nick was on his stuff, man. He was like, yo, let's. They asked the hard questions, right? They asked the hard questions. They asked the questions that the fans wanted to know, which I thought was great, right? So Trevor's out there. Trevor had also addressed the rumors that he had a girlfriend while filming, right? While she was filming, right? He claimed he wasn't officially with the woman, and he had informed her of his intent to be on Love Is Blind. He told her up front that they was toxic together. But Nick put out receipts, like the phone conversations, like, here, you told her this. You told her that you'll be together. You told her that you didn't really love the girl. You told her that you was just going to be on the show. You told her that you was lying in the pods. Sound like a dude when he comes out of the pods, he don't have anyone. I was lying, trying to get his old girl back, right? Trevor was speechless, right? He was hurt. He was heartbroken. Didn't know what to say. Did not know what to say whatsoever. It's like they dropped a 15-pound ball on Trevor's chest. He looked stupid sitting there, right? He said, another text, he said, if I meet someone in here, then I'm staying with someone in here. Trevor stated, however, the woman later shared texts that contradicted all his statement, right? His story was so diluted. Trevor was like a biggest liar that was on the show. And he never got anything straight, man. He was dating somebody else. He was with somebody else. Trevor wanted to be on TV. He wasn't trying to find love. He was trying to play. He was trying to have his cake and eat it too, right? If I find somebody, then it's cool. If I don't find somebody, it's not cool. I can always go back to Shorty over here, but I'm also on TV. They may like me. Trevor was playing the field. I'm kind of glad Chelsea didn't pick Trevor, all right? I think Chelsea kind of glad she didn't pick Trevor neither, because if she would have picked Trevor, you know how much mess that would have been? You thought Jimmy and her would have had troubles. Can you imagine the ex-girlfriend or the current girlfriend rolling up on Chelsea and Trevor? Actually, it might have been good for TV, right? It might have been good for Netflix. Rating might have even gone up even a little bit more in this instance. But Trevor was blown out of the proportion. They talked to Trevor. Again, Trevor had a girlfriend while he was in the pods, which is true. He never really denied that he didn't have a girlfriend. Bruh, why? Like, I blame Love Is Blind. Nick dismissed him quickly. I blame Love Is Blind. Do your investigation, right? Follow these people home. Find out. Let's see their phone conversations, their phone messages before they get on the show. Do you ask the question? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a fiance? Are you currently living with somebody of the opposite sex that you want to be with? So, I mean, maybe they like the drama. I don't know. But Nick really was on his A game and telling Trevor, like, dog, basically, he flat out called him a liar. Like, you're lying. You knew you had a girl. Right? Knew you had a girl. But let's get here, man. AD and Clay revealed they did not speak for weeks after the wedding, after the failed wedding. They didn't talk. We know that Clay said he wanted to talk to AD. He wanted to get back with her after the wedding or have a conversation with her. Um, and AD says, look, she was understandably too hurt. She didn't want to talk to him. She was too hurt to talk to Clay. I can imagine being left at the altar. You got your family there. You got your parents there. You got your cousins, your girls, your friends. Everybody there too is there. Everybody there, and then you get like dumped at the altar. And she said she didn't talk to him for weeks, which I know he was blowing her phone up. Clay admitted that he had gone to therapy. He didn't say he was still in therapy. I was listening. Like he said, I had gone to therapy. Like Clay should still be in therapy, right? There's some you don't go like to therapy for a week or even a year with the issues that Clay have. You go to therapy for a long period of time. Clay need to continue to be in therapy, right? Therapy is something that Clay needs to continue to be in because Clay needs the therapy. He needs it really bad, right? He needs the help. He needs the assistance because even on this show, you can see he was still hurting. We saw some tears from Clay here. He said, looking back, Clay admitted he made a mistake by not saying yes. No, bro, you didn't make a mistake by not saying yes. Trust me, you make AD missed. You saved her from a bad relationship by saying no. Let's be honest. You didn't make a mistake by saying yes to her, right? You didn't make a mistake by saying no to her at the time, right? You made. He said yes to her, and then at the altar, as he called AD the love of his life. She may be the love of your life, but at the time you were not ready. He was not ready to get married. Was not ready to get married whatsoever. Marriage was nowhere near there. Clay, you did her a service by not wanting to get married. You did her a service by not listen. You helped her out, right? Just be honest. AD didn't need to marry Clay at this time. If they had been married, they wouldn't be married right now. In my opinion, if he had said yes on marriage day for them, him and AD wouldn't be married right now. That relationship wouldn't have lasted a year because Clay would have did some things that wasn't prudent and wouldn't have been right. It would have been messed up, right? Clay explained that he's grown a lot since the show ended through therapy. You've grown, but you have more self-reflection, right? He also said he's been open to giving his relationship with AD another shot. Some say they're dating now, right? Some say they're together now. I haven't verified that, but we'll see. When she was asked for her thoughts, AD just blushed. She blushed it off. She changed the conversation. She changed the subject quickly. She maybe don't want to date Clay. I think they did hook up. I think they were back together. I think they might be together now, but only time will tell. If he's going to slow pace it, slow roll it, I think she does love Clay, and she wants to be with Clay. But again, it got to be a healing process. If you want to be married for like a long, long time, it has to be healing when you kind of come into it. You're not going to be perfect because there are going to be mistakes in marriage. There's going to be ups and downs. There are going to be conversations and discussions. But internally, you have to be prepared to be healed. And every little thing every little thing can't blow you up, right? Every little thing can't destroy the marriage. So Clay, I don't think they're ready for that. Really don't. I wish them well in their future endeavors, but them right now are not where it's supposed to be at. AD did mention that she ended up going to Matthew, right? Going out with Matthew for a couple of times, and that the Matthew's pretty cute, right? They dated a couple of times, but they just didn't much match. They had two different lifestyles. Like, duh. Like, you didn't know that, right? We all knew that Matthew and AD wasn't going to work. I don't know about y'all. I knew AD and Matthew wasn't going to work. Even if she had selected Matthew out of the pods, it wasn't going to work. Two different cultures, two different backgrounds. Dude was weird. And I'm not meaning in a bad way. Everybody got their own quirks and stuff, but dude was like totally different, right? Different personality from AD. They couldn't. She a party girl, hang out, blah, blah, blah. He's a homebody. It wasn't going to work out. Families, two different. That wasn't going to match up. So again, AD went out with Matthew, finally met up with Matthew after going out, after being dumped by Clay. It just didn't work out. Fine, take that. We move. It didn't work. It didn't work. It's good. We move on, right? We move on. Jimmy and Chelsea, right, remain close. Jimmy and Chelsea, something Jimmy and Chelsea are dating. You looked at during the conversation, a lot of conversations, Jimmy would put his hand, on Chelsea's leg. He would comfort her when she was getting emotional, when she was getting riled up. He was touchy-feely. There was real touchy-feely to be like she was mad at him, right? The biggest thing with him is they talked about why did Chelsea expose Jimmy's girlfriend on national television, right? He was upset. She was like, well, I didn't know the camera. I forgot the cameras were on. Really? Come on, Chelsea. You forgot the you forgot the cameras were on. No, you didn't. Right? You knew the cameras were on. You knew what you were saying. You might have been drunk. I would have took that you was drunk, right? That okay, I got it. You was drunk, and that's why you didn't know the cameras were on. You forgot, and so you spilled this girl's secret all on television that she slept with Jimmy. Well, she kind of spilled her own secret. If we really think about it, the girlfriend, Jimmy's friend, spilled her secret when they were talking about. She was talking about the size of Jimmy's private parts. Like, we're friends. How would you know the size of his private parts if you hadn't slept with him? So she kind of spilled her own secret. Chelsea just verified what we was thinking anyway. And so she verified it. She said Jimmy says him and his friend are still estranged, right? They don't. They're not close, right? Ever since Chelsea revealed that they previously slept together on camera, I wouldn't either. Everybody saw that you you're the friend with benefits, right? You're the homie that everybody can sleep with, or Jimmy can sleep with. So it didn't work out. He didn't say how many times he slept with her. So I figured they probably slept together maybe a couple times, multiple times, maybe one time. I don't know. But Chelsea's lips are loose. Jimmy confesses that Chelsea's lips were a defining moment in the relationship. When she told the information, he was like, I'm done. When she told that information, when she couldn't hold a secret, nobody wants a partner that can't hold secrets, right? Nobody wants a partner that doesn't know how to handle pillow talk, right? We saw that with Jeremy and Laura earlier with the whole bean dip situation, right? Some things when you and your partner are having conversations late at night or laying in the bed, or you and your partner share some things with you, it's not meant for everybody else. It is a conversation between you two. It's like, don't tell nobody. Can you hold this? Can we keep this together? It's like water. It's pillow talk. It's water. It's like you got to keep it tight, but you can't say it to the world with millions and millions, and I mean millions of people watching. And now people around Charlotte know that this girl slept with this dude. And everybody's calling her home wrecker. She ain't wrecked at home. Chelsea alcohol and Chelsea's drinking, Chelsea's insecurities, which she admitted to, destroyed that relationship because that relationship was toxic. Very, very toxic. If you don't know, it was up and down. It was a toxic relationship between Chelsea and Jimmy. And the defining moment was her telling that he slept with his friend was the one that tipped that bad boy over. It just like a leaning tower of Pisa, shoot, boom, playing Jenga and pulling the wrong block out of the stack. That toppled the thing over, and she pulled the block of he sleeping with his friend, and that relationship fell. All right, it fell. She told Chelsea earlier when they became clear. All right, and he still loved her. He wanted to see if it could work. Right, it ain't gonna work. I'm sorry. I know people think they're dating. I don't see Chelsea and Jimmy working, but I do see them probably still hanging out. She did an Instagram reel where she had nothing but her pictures of her and Chelsea, her and Jimmy having a good time, and you know. Each his own. I think some people think because the cameras are gone, it makes a big difference. In this relationship, just because the cameras are gone, is not going to make a big difference unless she handles her insecurities. I know it's been a year. Time changes things. Time changes people. But at the same time, you have to be able to do the work. And you got to understand what messed you up a year ago. If it's not fixed, it's not solved. It could still mess you up now. So Chelsea and Jimmy need to fix that stuff if they're together. Those are rumors. We talked to Jamie. We talked to Johnny and Amy, who are very happy together, right? They wind up deciding against birth control and the vasectomy. They don't consummate the marriage. They talked to Johnny about like what are you guys were discussing, right? About contraceptive and birth control, vasectomies, and like, bro, you ever heard of condoms? Like, if you're not trying to get married, she doesn't want the birth control. It's called condoms, right? It's called condoms. Well, but they're happy together. Their families interact with each other. They took a JC Penney type photo together. They're happy even after years. A year of marriage, they're doing well. No babies came up, so they're doing something right. Right? They're doing something right. There's no babies. So Johnny and Amy on the show because they still married. Low key, everything's fine. Low key couple, right? Wasn't really no drama with them. They didn't really do anything special on the reunion. It's just the fact they let everyone know they're still married, families are still together, they're still enjoying life, and they're not having babies. So that's it with them. Jessica and Chelsea have become close friends after competing for Jimmy, which is surprising. I guess neither one of y'all get the prize, so now we can become friends. I think Jessica and Chelsea handled the situation with Jimmy better than Sarah and Laura and Jeremy did, right? They handled that situation classy. Even when Jessica DM'd Jimmy or Jimmy tried to friend request her. She let it lapse. She still sent a message, but again, they still friends. Jess is doing it for her daughter Autumn, right? Which I thought was good because every time Jessica on this show, somebody was arguing, or I think Sarah Ann was going back and forth, but Jessica wouldn't let her speak, or Jeremy was going back and forth. Somebody was going back and forth. She's like, I'll wait. I'll let you say your part. She shows so much class and restraint, right? That she like, I'm not gonna be here messy on TV. I got a 10-year-old daughter. I'm not here for this mess. I'm here to talk like adult. Here to talk civilized. I'm here to talk like grown people need to talk. And I'm not here for any of the drama. This ain't Love and Hip Hop. This ain't none of those other reality shows. Bell Collective. We're not fighting. I'm here to talk classy. I'm here to do the right thing. Let's move on. And she was like that. Every time somebody brought up they got drama, she shut it down. She was like quiet and handle business. And she did what she needed to do. Right. This is what, man. Look. Oh man. Ken and Brittany, like, what are we doing? Right. Like, what are we doing? Ken. So early in the week, Brittany had put a Instagram post up that her and Ken was together, not together, but they was in the same room. Had people speculating like they could be together. No, they're still friends. Ken said that although it may look like he didn't. What did he say? I want to get his words right. He said even though it didn't seem like he was upset over the breakup, he was. It definitely didn't look like he was upset over the breakup. He like called his friend immediately on the phone. But he said he called Clay distraught after the wedding, right? Called Clay and talked to Clay for a long time about how him and Brittany broke up, how him and Brittany, how he was upset that Brittany the relationship didn't work out. I blame Kenneth. They let him off the hook, right? He said he was on his phone. He was a principal. He's away for 3 weeks. I get it. We all busy people. You put effort and time into what you want to put effort and time into, right? You had time to get his hair done at 1 o'clock in the morning. Had time to get home, eating his food. Look, he had time to spend with this young lady, and he didn't do it. He went back to regular life and didn't try to woo his wife. He thought, okay, we out of the pods, and we were together, and we're gonna be together. No, bro. You got to put in work, right? The pods is just an isolated incident. You have nothing else to do 24/7. You're in the pods. You can talk to them. You can do whatever you need to be. That's what the pods are for. When in real life, you got to be able to date somebody. You got to be able to love somebody. You got to be able to treat somebody with respect. He said him and Brittany are real close friends to this day. They're friends. They're just not dating. Why? Like, you didn't go to the pods to find a friend. You found the pods to go to find a lover, somebody that you want to be with. Kenneth did her wrong. He did her wrong. Was not nothing good about that whatsoever, right? From him being unattentive, for him being on his phone, for him not communicating properly, for him gaslighting her, for like the reason why he wanted to break up with her because he just didn't woo each other anymore. Like, dog, it is a couple of days. You build that up, right? You create the excitement. You create the atmosphere again. You put in the work. And I blame Kenneth for not trying to put in the work. That is the biggest thing for me. Like when you're in a relationship, if you want to marry somebody, you got 4 weeks left. Put in the work. See if it does not work. See if you can rekindle the fire, right? It's always something you can do, rekindle the spark. It's always something that you can do, try to bring that back. Especially when you're in a new relationship. He may not say it, and I don't know, man. He may be, I'm not even talking about the sexuality thing. He may not really genuinely know how to handle a relationship. And that's what's something that is okay. If you don't know how to handle a relationship, ask for help. Ask for like, bro, what do I do? How do I add this spark? We missing this. Can we spend time together? Well, you're not being at home doesn't help the relationship, right? How can a relationship get better if you out till 1:30 in the morning? Then you try to come wake her up knowing that she got to get up at 5 o'clock. It doesn't work. That whole conversation with them went south. But the reunion, him and Brittany are becoming extremely close. And they say they talk every day. Maybe they're working on their relationship. I don't know. You don't talk to somebody every day that you're not trying to build a relationship with. So maybe they'll all try to work. Maybe they try to get together. Only time will tell, right? The conversation with AD, Matthew, and Amber was addressed. We showed that that Matthew was telling them the same thing, right? Matthew was telling them, Amber and AD, the same thing. Matthew always said that he wanted to tell his story, tell his side. But when they was asked to be on the Love is Blind reunion, he declined, didn't want to be on the reunion, said he didn't want to be out here telling the story. And I'm not mad at him. He didn't want the scrutiny, right? He seemed like he was a private person anyway. He didn't want the scrutiny. He didn't want to get criticized in front of a public audience or people. But guess what, Matthew? We still criticize you anyway, right? We're still criticizing you anyway for doing just the ridiculous type stuff, right? For just being Clark Kent is what it is. Man, but there are in this reunion, it was a lot of things that came out. Back to Clay and AD. Just should be married, man. I mean, I think they talk about how his mom has strength, which we all know she showed a lot on the show, and we did a video on that. But Clay needs help. AD needs to not settle. Need not settle, right? Don't settle for people who, I'm not saying don't want you, but don't settle for the bad boy. Clay's the type of guy that she was dating before she went into the pod, and she continued to do the process, and she got what she used to. It wasn't Matthew, but it was. She needs to find somebody who loves her for her, who's willing to handle her, willing to deal with her with delicate gloves, and take care of her. Laura says she is dating somebody. She's dating somebody, and it's not Jeremy, no, but she's dating somebody right now. What else was there that I missed? I don't think I missed much. I think that's what reunion there, but it was good. I like Nick and like Vanessa asking the tough questions. The tough questions needed to be asked. The tough questions needed to be put on the show. I think those are the things that are key there. When we go to reunions, you want to be able to see people have. Hey, yeah, Tasha, I do agree. I'm going to start answering some of these questions. Laura was gaslighting. She was very mean to Jeremy. She was very mean. She wouldn't allow him to speak. But when you're not in the studio audience, and this is where I thought she had enough strength. When you're not in the studio audience and you're zooming in or video typing in, you can have a little bit more. Your energy can be different. Excuse me. I think her energy was different because she wasn't there, right? I think her energy would have been a little bit different if she was in the studio audience with everybody else. When you don't let somebody speak, when you're mad, when you're upset. Yeah, definitely. I got that. It was good to see the returning couples, right? I forgot about that part. Seeing the couples that came back on the show, some of the returning people from Love is Blind, and you see them doing well. Gigi is pregnant, and we saw her fiance. I don't know if she's their partner, right? We saw her partner. It was good to see some of the returning couples there. If you noticed that Cameron, it was Cameron, his wife, can't remember her name right now, man. I forgot her name. Was not on the show from the very first season of Love is Blind. They wasn't there. Somebody help me out with her name. I forgot her name. And so they wasn't there because they said they had a conflicting engagement. They had something else going on for the date they was filming, and they couldn't make it. So, they wasn't there. So it was good to see the returning couples. If you think about it, Love is Blind has a better success rate than Married at First Sight. All jokes aside, they talked about it, right? They talked about the people who actually walked away and the couples that walked away and that moved. That Love is Blind, it has a better, right? A much better success rate. Yeah. Clay did give a shout out to Kwame, man, and which was great. They're still going strong. Real recognize real. When people are there, men recognize other men. I think that's a key, right? When you recognize somebody who's doing well, when you recognize somebody who is who changed the game, or you recognize somebody who's really committed to the process, and you recognize it, shout out was good. And they recognize the process. Real is real. Recognize real. It's good to see brothers. I still good to see married, man. I love to see the success rate is good, and I love to see how couples are going. Also, they talked about on this reunion how Perfect Match is coming back, right? You'll see Micah on Perfect Match. You'll see Jessica on Perfect Match. You see Izzy on Perfect Match as well. So you'll see some of those things that are coming up. So Chelsea revealed that she now works on casting for. Oh, that's right. Chelsea revealed that that's the big thing too. Chelsea revealed that she now works on casting for Love is Blind, allowing her and Kwame the flexibility they always wanted to do to travel. You also saw Brittany and Tiffany also travel a lot. They are preparing for a put roots down, and they're getting ready to put roots down in Portland, Oregon, right? Alexa and Gigi are expecting a baby. And Matt and Colleen talked about living together after spending the first part of their marriage living separately, and now they're together. And so it was good to see the reunion. It was good to see the past couples. It was good to see how the backstage. It was good to see this current cast, this current season, open up a little bit about this season, share the reality. I think Jeremy and Sarah Ann probably won't be together in a year and a half. I wish them the best success. But only time will tell, right? Only time will tell, see how they were, and it's bothering me. So I am going to find out Cameron's girlfriend and Lauren. That's it, Lauren, Cameron and Lauren. I had to find her name out before I get off the show. It was Cameron and Lauren didn't show up, right? So they had a schedule conflict. I had to make sure I knew her name. Sometimes you had a brain fart moments, and you'd be like, "Hey, what's that person's name?" But it's Cameron and Lauren that didn't show up because they had a schedule conflict for the reunion. But I'm looking forward to Love Is Blind 7, right? See how that shapes out. See what city they go to. See how people handle situations. Nick and them did a wonderful job. Leave your comment in the comment section below, man. Hit the subscribe button, hit that play button, and the bell notification. Let's talk about that. You think Clay's plan was to expose himself, have AD say no at the wedding, and then work on their relationship afterwards? I think his plan. He wanted to work on a relationship. If you remember in episode, was it 10 or 11, he talked to her about that. He said, look, I want you to be able to, I'm going to say no. I might say no, but how are you handle if I say no? And she's like, well, if you say no, then we can't be married. Like, if you say no, the relationship is over. You say no, we're not going to do this anymore. I'm done. So at that point, I believe Clay wanted to say no, right? But he realized if I say no now, then she doesn't get the opportunity to walk down the aisle. I don't get the opportunity to show the respect and love. I think one of the producers or creator of the show, I don't have it up, gave Clay a shout out for the way that he handled things, right? How he handled the process, how he was true to the process, how he gave each other their, So it was good to see how they maneuvered. Clay is he honest? I think he's honest. Is he ready for love? Marriage? Probably not. There's some tendencies that he still have to get out of his system. I think he's trying to do the work. I think he wants to do the work. I think he's conflicted on how he needs to do the work. I think there's much more what's the word I'm looking for? Healing that he has to do in order to get married. Only time will tell, and everybody ain't ready for it at that time. And the process is not for everybody. He went through this process, and he wanted to see if he could do it. I really do believe he loves AD, right? I think he really wants to be with AD, but he's still terrified and scared of what marriage holds for them. But all in all, thought the reunion was good. Once again, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, leave a comment in the comment section below. And I'll come back with some more Love Is Blind videos next season when it comes back. Once again, appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for rocking with me throughout the season. It's been good. It's been fun. Check out the rest of our videos. Love Is Blind. Married at First Sight. Check out the Ready to Love. Got some videos coming out for that as well. But just want to share the reunion with you and let me know what you thought on the reunion. I appreciate y'all. Leave a comment section below. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the membership if you want to. It's only $1, so hit the membership so you can get some exclusive content from Jack and Glenn. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for rocking with us. Have a great day. Peace.